At some point, you've probably asked yourself a hard question. Why do I keep ruining things when they start going well? Why do I pull back when someone gets close? Why do I procrastinate on opportunities I've worked years to earn? On the surface, it makes no sense. You say you want success, stability, love, respect. Yet when those things get within reach, something shifts. You hesitate, you withdraw, you create conflict, you delay, and afterward you feel frustration or shame. Here is the uncomfortable truth. Self-sabotage is not random. It serves a psychological function. There is a hidden payoff behind it. Until you understand that payoff, the pattern will continue, no matter how disciplined or intelligent you are. Self-sabotage protects your identity. Every person operates from an internal identity, not the one you present publicly, but the one you quietly believe about yourself. It may be, I'm not good enough, I always get left, nothing works out for me, or I have to struggle for everything. These beliefs are rarely spoken out loud, but they shape your decisions. When life begins to contradict that identity, your nervous system reacts. If you believe you are unworthy of stable love and someone treats you consistently, that stability creates tension. If you believe success comes with pressure and loss, achieving success feels dangerous. Self-sabotage, well, it restores psychological balance. It brings you back to the identity that feels, familiar. Sometimes failure feels more comfortable than a success that challenges who you think you are. The payoff really is familiarity. Familiar pain, in a strange way, feels safer than unfamiliar growth. Chaos, oddly enough, can feel safer than peace. If your early emotional environment involved unpredictability, criticism, or, say, emotional distance, your nervous system just adapted to that level of stimulation. Calm may not feel natural. Stability may not feel exciting. Healthy relationships, well, they may feel dull. So, when things become steady, you might unconsciously create disruption. You overanalyze, you pick fights, you withdraw, you delay progress. Not because you actually want destruction, but because chaos feels normal. The hidden payoff here is emotional intensity. Chaos gives your nervous system something it recognizes. A practical step, really, is noticing your discomfort when things are going well. When there is no crisis, do you feel restless, suspicious, or maybe bored? Instead of acting on that discomfort, just sit with it. Allow your nervous system to adjust to stability without forcing stimulation. That truly is how you retrain your response to peace. Self-sabotage, well, it protects you from vulnerability. Success and healthy relationships both, require exposure. When you succeed, expectations rise. And when you love someone, you risk loss. Growth really demands vulnerability. Self-sabotage reduces that risk. If you never fully commit, you cannot fully fail. If you end the relationship first, you avoid being left. And if you procrastinate, you can blame lack of effort instead of confronting your limits. The payoff is protection from emotional pain, but that protection comes at the cost of long-term fulfillment. To counter this, identify what you are truly afraid will happen if things work out. Not what you say publicly, but what you privately fear. Are you afraid of responsibility? Of being seen? or maybe of not being able to maintain success. Naming the fear, well, it weakens its control. There is comfort in confirming negative beliefs. Human beings are wired for consistency. Your brain, oddly enough, prefers being right over being happy. If you believe that relationships always fail, you will unconsciously behave in ways that confirm that belief. When the relationship collapses, it reinforces your internal narrative. I knew it. That confirmation, it brings a strange sense of control. The hidden payoff is validation of your worldview. Breaking this requires challenging your internal narrative directly. When you notice yourself thinking in absolutes, such as, this always happens, question it. Replace it with evidence of exceptions. Force your mind to see complexity instead of repetition. Discipline exposes the pattern. Self-sabotage thrives in impulsive decisions. It lives in emotional reactions and unexamined behavior. Discipline interrupts it. When you feel the urge to withdraw from someone who is treating you well, delay the decision. When you want to quit a project because it feels overwhelming, break it into smaller tasks instead of abandoning it. When you feel the impulse to create conflict, pause before speaking. Discipline is not suppression. It is well-controlled response. Over time, these small interruptions weaken the old pattern. Your brain begins learning that growth does not equal danger. You stop sabotaging yourself when you upgrade your identity. The deepest level of change does not happen at the level of behavior. It happens at the level of identity. If you still see yourself as the overlooked one, the unlucky one, the misunderstood one, or the one who struggles, your behavior will align with that story. Upgrading your identity means choosing a different internal narrative. Not a fantasy, but a deliberate shift. You become the man who handles stability, the man who tolerates peace, the man who finishes what he starts, the man who can be loved without self-destruction. This shift requires repetition. You act in alignment with the new identity even when it feels unfamiliar. Eventually, unfamiliar becomes normal. Awareness removes the payoff. Once you see the hidden payoff, it loses its power. When you recognize that self-sabotage provides familiarity, protection, validation, or stimulation, you can decide whether that payoff is worth the cost. Most of the time, it is not. You are not broken. You adapted to survive earlier conditions. But survival patterns are not the same as growth patterns. Real strength is not in enduring chaos. It is in tolerating peace, not in proving your wounds, but in outgrowing them. If this helped you understand your own patterns on a deeper level, subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who needs to break their cycle.